You hear the term data science thrown around all the time, right? It sounds, well, kind of complicated, maybe even a little intimidating. But what if I told you it's really just about finding treasure inside a huge mountain of information? So let's dig in and clear up what's really going on with one of the most powerful fields shaping our world today.
I mean, have you ever wondered how your favorite streaming service just knows exactly what movie you'll want to watch next? Or how a company can predict its sales months from now? They're all doing the same thing, really. They're taking a giant chaotic mess of data and turning it into clear, smart decisions. And that's the heart of what we're going to unpack.
All right, first things first. Let's nail down the core definition. What is data science at its most fundamental level? Here it is. It's really a two-part mission. First, you have to dig through all that messy, noisy data to find the hidden gems, the knowledge. But, and this is the part that so many people miss, you then have to turn that knowledge into a real, tangible action. Because an insight that doesn't lead to action, well, it's just a fun fact, isn't it? And here's the really cool part. Data science isn't just one single skill. It's a powerful mix of three totally different areas. You need the coding and system smarts from computer science, you need the rock-solid logic of mathematics, and, this is absolutely crucial, you need the real-world context that comes from business expertise. The real magic happens right where those three circles overlap. So what's the whole point of doing this? It all comes down to answering questions. But not all questions are created equal. They actually build on each other, getting more and more powerful and way more valuable with every single step.
Think of it like climbing a ladder. We start on the first rung with descriptive analytics. That just asks, what is happening right now? Like, did our sales go up last month? Then we climb to diagnostic, which asks, okay, why did it happen? From there, we start looking ahead with predictive analytics. What's probably going to happen next? And at the very top, the most valuable rung of all is prescriptive. So what should we do about it? That tells us exactly how to make things better. And with each step up, the value you get just skyrockets.
A really simple way to think about this whole thing is hindsight versus foresight. Those first two steps, descriptive and diagnostic, that's all about hindsight, understanding the past, looking in the rearview mirror. But the next two, predictive and prescriptive, that's all about foresight. That's using what you learn to actually shape the future. It's the difference between reacting to the world and actively creating the outcomes you want. Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. Now for the how. See, data science isn't some magical thing that just happens. It's a repeatable process, a life cycle. It's a journey that takes you from a question all the way to an answer. This journey always starts with understanding the business. You have to ask the right question before you can ever hope to find the right answer. Once you've got your question, you go data mining to gather up all the raw material. Then comes a super important step, data cleaning. After all that prep work, you can finally get to the fun part, exploration and modeling, where you find those hidden patterns. And last but not least, you have to visualize your findings, because an amazing insight is useless if no one can understand it. Now, I have to pause here for a quick reality check, especially about that cleaning step. A lot of people think data scientists spend all day building cool models. The truth? They could spend up to 80% of their time just cleaning the data. Real-world data is always messy. It's full of missing numbers, duplicates, typos, you name it. And without this step, any analysis you do is worthless. It's the absolute definition of garbage in, garbage out. And when we finally get to that exploration stage, especially when we're trying to answer those super valuable predictive and prescriptive questions, well, that's when you bring out the big guns. This is where advanced tools like machine learning come into play. They let us sift through insane amounts of data to find patterns and make predictions a human mind just couldn't possibly see on its own. So we know the what, the why, and the how. But who actually does all this? Let me give you a hint. It's almost never just one person. It really does take a whole team of people with very specific skills.
On a typical team, you're going to find three key players. First, you have the business analyst. Think of them as the translator. They know the business inside and out, so they're great at asking the right questions and then explaining the results in a way everyone gets. Then you have the data engineer. They're the builders, the architects. They create the systems to gather and clean all that messy data. And finally, you have the data scientist. They're the explorers, using advanced tools and stats to build models and uncover those really deep, hidden insights.
But here's the most important thing to remember about the team. These roles are not separate boxes. There is a ton of overlap. A business analyst might do some deep analysis, and a data scientist might have to build their own data pipeline.
It is a total team sport. For any of this to work, collaboration is absolutely everything.
So let's bring this all home. After all the questions and the cleaning and the modeling and the teamwork, what is the one single goal that ties this entire thing together?
This quote just nails it perfectly. The goal is to take noisy data, turn it into knowledge and insights, and then turn it into meaningful action for our business. It's a journey from total chaos to perfect clarity, and then from that clarity, straight to action. That's the whole game, right there.
So, now that you have the playbook, think about your own world for a second. Your job, your hobbies, your neighborhood. Data is literally all around us. And remember, this whole powerful process always starts with just one single question. So, what would yours be?